Hey, Wixman Ray here. Thank goodness it's Friday. For some, anyways, I guess. Some people might have to work this weekend. All right. You might be able to hear the rain on my outside here. I'm in my camper right now, staying in my camper for a few days. Um, yeah. So, yeah, we just had some storms come through the KC area um, today. I'm living in that general area. I won't tell you exactly where to keep my privacy, but yeah. But we're getting some showers here and some thunderstorms around. So, anyways, enough of that. Looking at the satellite, the west is cleared out. The last storm that went through yesterday is pushed east and moving into the plains. We got some high clouds across Southern California and Arizona, but that no weather with that other than you know, some clouds were up where the planes fly, and then a little bit of clouds up across the north, just north of the border there, north of Washington and Montana, that area. So yeah, so we got this low pressure kind of sitting over the northern plains here with a shield of clouds up over North Dakota, extending back down towards Wyoming. Um, Probably got some snow showers going on. We'll take a look at our surface obs. Once again, I have a slow internet. I got me a modem today, but I haven't had a chance to get it set up. And then what you're seeing here with all these bright reds and oranges and even some blacks in there. These are thunderstorm clouds. So we got a cold front that extends from roughly Minnesota or southeast Minnesota through parts of Wisconsin down into Iowa, Missouri, Oklahoma, even parts of southeast Kansas and down into Texas. Um, and there's some rough and tumble weather with some of these. There's some severe thunderstorm warnings and a couple tornado warnings out there. And we'll see if we can show you that. And then there's some thunderstorms out ahead of them, some scattered stuff out here across, looks like parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Looks like there was some stuff out in Georgia too earlier that looks to be dying down. But yeah, so a lot of moisture coming off the Gulf and some instability. You need three ingredients for thunderstorms. If you didn't know, you need moisture, instability, and lift. So moisture is obvious. You get the moisture. Uh, Pretty much predominantly comes off the Gulf. That's why you see so many thunderstorms east of the Rockies, because that's where all the Gulf moisture goes. And instability is just basically, to explain it easily, you got colder air aloft up in the higher atmosphere and warmer air below. And when that cold to warm um, ratio kind of increases, that means you got more instability. That's kind of an easy way to tell you it, I guess, explain it. And then lift would be something like it could be a cold front, a warm front, a trough. It could be an upper level trough, something that causes convergence in the atmosphere. Convergence is where winds come together, and that pushes the air upward. So that kind of so there's various ways to create lift. There's also other ways, but we won't get into that. Um, that's that's a deep dive for meteorology class. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Yeah, so we got this one big storm out in the middle of the country, quieting down on the out west, and this stuff is coming towards the east over Saturday and Sunday. So here's our surface observations. We're looking at, this is Iowa here, Missouri, Oklahoma. So we've got a couple tornado warnings. It looks like near Oklahoma City. Um, so batten down the hatches there. It looks like some other severe thunderstorm warnings in North Texas. The radar showing, this line, kind of at least a broken line down here of thunderstorms and showers. And the cold front kind of runs generally right through this general area here. You can see temperatures are in the 70s over here and already in the 40s in Kansas City and 60s down in Oklahoma City. So yeah, so I got a few you know, thunderstorms misbehaving. Looks like one tornado warning out there in Ohio. It's at north of Columbus somewhere out there. I'm not going to zoom in. I'll try to move around a little bit, but my internet's so slow it'll probably just lock up. We got these showers and thunderstorms we talked about over Arkansas. Nothing too crazy with those, and there's those showers and maybe still some occasional thunder out in Georgia. Yeah, so pretty warm out ahead of the front. Mostly in the 70s, a couple upper 60s out here in the Carolinas and southern North Carolina. As we head up north, so we've got this cold front, and then we got kind of a warm front extending across Illinois, Indiana, through Ohio, and even out into Pennsylvania. And that's why you're seeing these areas of thunderstorms. We got showers and thunderstorms along this area. So, um, and then up north here, no, the big cloud shield we saw. We got some, these are actually some winter storm warnings. What is this? Oh, ice storm warning. Wow, they're expecting some ice up there by northern Wisconsin, up near the UP of Michigan, parts of it anyways. So, yeah, so there's some snow going on, some probably light to moderate, maybe some heavy bands of snow back here. That even extends down into South Dakota, south of Rapid City. Looks like there's a little bit of snow shower still back in Wyoming. And yeah, so that's what's going on out there. That's the main thing. Looks like there's a few little, looks like cold rain. It's in the 30s, mid to upper 30s, was reported as rain up in Maine. That's that system, that first system we saw that kind of weakened and moved off into Canada. They're still getting some moisture, just some spotty showers. So elsewhere, um, nice across the west. It's about it's getting close to 8 o'clock on the west coast. It's 10 o'clock central, or almost 10 to 10 right now, and almost 11 o'clock out on the east coast. Just kind of have your bearing on what time of day it is or night. Yeah, so we got some 40s and 50s out over this part of the Rockies. Vegas a little chillier, 69. So got some 70s, real nice in California, 60s along the coast, except for farther north, you got some 50s, but that's normal. 82 in Phoenix, so it's cooling down there out over the desert, 60s and 70s, and 50s farther north in New Mexico with that cold front that's kind of pushed through that general area. Yeah, so that's what's going on the surface. So this is our current model. This is close to now. So it's a pretty good depiction. You got the snow up here through the Dakotas, a little bit lingering back into Wyoming, parts of Montana, and then up into Minnesota. And this is where they had the ice storm warning, where you're seeing these peaks and purples up here. And that's what that's indicating is either ice or, ice pellets, a mixed bag of wintry precip, basically. Here's that low pressure sitting over Iowa there that we saw. That's the surface low. The upper low we saw is spinning out in this general area, and you saw that on satellite. You can see a reflection a lot of times on the satellite of where the upper level low. And the reason why it's to the east is because typically mid-latitude systems will stack from the west to the east. So the upper levels are west of the where the feature is on the surface. So that's just how the atmosphere works. So anyways, we won't get too far into dynamics and all that kind of stuff because that'll bore you, and that's a lot of meteorology and equations and stuff to understand. So anyways, yeah, so the cold front kind of extending, like we said, through Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, out into Oklahoma and Texas, and you can kind of see some pockets of heavier rain are going to be in these thunderstorms. And there's that warm front extending um, through Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, Illinois area. And then there's that snow we saw kind of clipping northern Maine there. So yeah, and then those showers we saw. Probably a little overdone for Florida. It was mostly up in Georgia, but hey, you get the picture. All right, so this is the main feature. So going through midday tomorrow, that front slowly progresses eastward. It's still lagging through Texas, Arkansas, and then back up here into the, Great Lakes. There's still going to be a threat of severe tomorrow. Um, Pretty much, and I'll show you where that threat will be. And then we still got the snow kind of lingering back here on Saturday across parts of the eastern Dakotas, Minnesota, northern Minnesota, UP of Michigan, and up into northern Wisconsin. So, and as we go through the day, the snow will continue through the day and through the night. By Sunday morning, it'll be pulling off into Canada. So, and that's in the front, it will continue to push east. It'll be out, across New York, the Northeast, into, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, east or west, yeah, eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, and down into the south here, and extends down to Texas. And those will still be, showers and thunderstorms. Up here will be more just kind of a general rain, some pretty good rains probably out of this. So, yeah, this will be the last hurrah for a few days, anyways, of big storms. Um, so as we go through the day on Sunday, they've got a little bit of a threat now, a marginal risk up in the, I think it was part of the Northeast, but we'll look. Don't quote me on that. We'll look at the convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, our thunderstorm outlook, basically. So it looks like the front midday on Sunday will be running across the Northeast, down along the East Coast into Virginia, and then down through the Carolinas, and then through the Southeast U.S. and extends down across the Gulf Coast, northern Gulf, and into South Texas. So, and that'll still be a combination of showers and thunderstorms. Looks like there'll still be some heavier rains down in South Texas, maybe. Even along the East Coast, there still might be some pockets of heavy rain. And as you go like through the evening and night hours, that front pushes out over the ocean. It'll linger across, near the Carolinas, near the coastal areas, and near the Gulf Coast, but it's pretty much done. We do have this little clipper coming out of Canada here on Sunday into Monday. So some light snows up across northern Minnesota, the UP of Michigan, and that goes into Michigan as we go into Monday. Also looks like some snow showers back across the Northeast, but nothing too big to deal with. Yeah, and then this little narrow strip that we saw yesterday, nothing major, but there might be a little bit of precip, either rain or snow falling in the narrow band there in Nebraska, Iowa, maybe South Dakota, and reappearing near Kansas City, maybe even towards St. Louis, but real short-lived at that. Sorry. Okay, now it's going to lock up. That's as far as we'll go for that. I'll just show you the convective outlook. So this is for the rest of tonight. I'm not going to click on it because we're having issues. So from North Texas through Oklahoma, Missouri, up into Illinois and Iowa, southern Iowa, that's where the slight risk is through tonight. And then you can see a marginal risk out through the east along that warm front. So the best tornado threat was like over just east of Kansas City, over the northern half of Missouri, parts of Iowa and Illinois. So it's still a threat of tornadoes, but even down in Oklahoma City, we're seeing some of that. For tomorrow, up across the Great Lakes from roughly Ohio, Kentucky, parts of Pennsylvania and New York will be under the gun for some severe thunderstorms, and then a marginal risk from East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and parts of Alabama, and maybe clip in Tennessee there. So that's for, what is that? That's for Sunday, right? No, wait, this is Saturday, sorry. And then Sunday, yeah, we've got the mid-Atlantic under the gun, at least marginal risk of some severe weather, severe thunderstorms, it looks like, from like northern portion of South Carolina, North Carolina, and eastern parts of Virginia. It looks like it'll clip the DC area. So yeah. So those thunderstorms will cause some issues through the weekend. They may misbehave a little bit. So, but that's all I've got for you guys. You have a good weekend. and I'll try to have a video out tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. Once again, appreciate you. Tell your friends about us, and make it happen. Wixman Ray out.